Cool. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Very good, very good.
How were your holidays?
They were lovely. They were lovely. Just trying to adjust to the 2011 vibe.
What vibe is that?
So far, it's been sleeping way too late and staying up way too late as well. So it's a lot of debauchery, I guess, so far.
Well, that's what happens when you're in a big TV show. You got to party, man.
I guess.
Live the life.
I wish it was. Yeah, but it's usually more of like watching, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or something until like 1 a.m. And then
what makes me happy is that you don't know the actual title to that song. You just gain a lot of respect.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you're calling for a reason because you got this film and you're looking for funding by the end of the week, basically.
Well, yeah, that's the short of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, you want to tell people what it is, how they can help, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, first off, I'm doing a film, producing a film with my wife, Jocelyn Town. She wrote it and is starring in it as well. I'm also going to be in it, as is Jason Ritter, and we're sort of trying to figure out the rest of the cast. And it's an amazing film, and we're using this thing called Kickstarter, and that is basically like a launching pad for movies, bands, inventions, fashion. It's becoming this kind of unbelievably popular thing. It's sort of right now it's in the very beginning phase of it, but it's amazing. There have been people that have raised almost $1 million on there and revived bands and movies. Like I said, there was someone who had an invention with the Nano iPod watch that they invented on there. They tried to raise, I think, $15,000. They ended up raising about $800,000.
Wow!
It's like one of those things where you feel like you're catching on. You're I feel like I'm hearing about YouTube a week after it was invented, and you're like, oh my God, it's gonna be. Anyhow, so we're trying to raise $100,000 by the end of this week, and we have at this point almost $70,000, and it's been unbelievable support. But the thing about it is it's totally scam-free. If you don't reach the goal, all the money goes back to all the donators. But for making an independent movie, it's basically a way of making the fans the studio. I mean, they're becoming producers on this movie, so there's incentives. If they give $100, they'll become an associate producer with a credit at the end of the movie, and if they give $200, I'll send them a ringtone of my annoying voice yelling at them to answer the phone. $1,000, they get a walk-on role. $10,000 will fly out and knock on their door and screen the movie for them when we're done. And so basically, if we reach that 100,000 by the end of this week, we have an angel donor that will give us match that, so we'll have 200,000, which is basically enough to either make it or start to really get some, people to attach themselves to the movie and really, get going. It's an independent movie, so it's not going to be a $50 million thing. We're looking to do it around this price. So yeah, we need help to get that extra around 30,000 now is where what we need. And if you go to IamIthefilm.com, it's I and then the letter AMI, thefilm.com, and you can click on the Kickstarter link, which will take you to Kickstarter.com, where there's the way to donate. And we made a little short film to kind of show what the process of this was for us, and people have really loved that. It's like a 4.5-minute, one-shot kind of movie that spans the whole process of our film so far. So that's the long-winded version of what we kind of are doing right now, I guess.
Well, it's cool because we have a lot of government grants for Canadian filmmakers up here, but you guys don't have that down there. So it's not the equivalent, but I guess it's as close as you're going to get in the States.
Yeah. Yeah, that is probably true. Yeah, we don't. The government does not care about our artistic endeavors. No, this is sort of a revolutionary thing in a way because it's set up legitimately, and it's, like I said, it's scam-free. It's not like, you can't take some of the money. It's not like, I want to raise $500,000, and if we get 100,000, well, then I'll just make a really crappy movie for 100. It'll all go back to the people. So it really is that. I really feel like it is that sort of that early stage of something really special, where it's making, it's really the true kind of definition of indie filmmaking, which is a community effort, and it's getting everybody involved at the sort of a grassroots level, and making everybody producers, and giving everybody sort of a chance to support something that they care about, to directly make an impact on, something that they have a passion for, and that's what on the IMI, the film.com website, you can see sort of the synopsis and the idea of what we're trying to do. And on Kickstarter, we made this movie. So, I mean, it's people, they're getting a chance to see what we want to do, and if they connect to it, they can give, and it's sort of a direct way of giving back to the arts, I guess, is one sort of grand way of saying it.
Yeah. For those who haven't gone to the website yet, what is the synopsis? What is the story that your wife wrote?
Let's see if I can do it justice. It's sort of a kind of like a twist on a love story. It's basically a girl's mother passes away, and she goes to the funeral and meets the father that she never knew, and it turns out he has a form of retrograde amnesia, which is it's a disorder. The specific disorder is called Korsakoff syndrome. So he actually thinks he's still 30 years old, and he has no memory of her, and she has no memory of him because he left when she was little. And he actually mistakes her for her mother, and she realizes that that's happening and decides, in order to get to know this father she never knew, she's going to play along and pretend to be her own mother and allow him to court her so that she can get to know this man. And there's no incest or anything crazy like that.
Good to know.
Just I think that's a good disclaimer. Unless that's your thing, and if that's your thing, this is the wrong movie. But no, it's sort of like a kind of like a Harold and Maude love story. And,
oh, hey.
And sort of like that, Lost in Translation. It's kind of that. It's funny, it's touching, and it truly is one of the better scripts I have ever read, and it made it easy for me because I'm married to her, but if I was scared that it was going to be not great, and then I was like, how am I going to deal with my wife? But thank God it was really amazing, and it really is, and I believe in it so much, and we've had a tremendous amount of support and people giving donations. The donations that the people that have been donating are mostly people we don't know, and people have given $10,000 that we don't even know, and they're touched by the video and the story, and and again, it's one of those things where people don't realize also that every dollar counts. People have given $1, $10, $100, and all those things are making a huge difference, and we just need about 30,000 more, and we will get to actually begin pre-production on this movie, and it's cool. Yeah, it's a great way to connect with fans too of mine from the show, and all that sort of stuff that people are been really tremendously generous.
I was going to ask you about the difficulties of making an indie film, but I guess if you guys haven't really started besides the financing bit, I guess there's not really much to say there. Well, have you encountered any difficulties besides the financing so far?
Well, I mean, the whole film business is definitely is more difficult these days than it was. I obviously am not an authority on all sort of business stuff going on there, but you can just see that there's. I mean, the thing is that independent movies for sure have kind of taken a turn in the sense of they're not all as independent as they used to be, and so you're looking at movies that are called independent but have $15 million budgets, or which is, I mean, it's great that, and there's a lot of them are amazing movies, but it's sort of, as the independent movies started to get more, I think, award recognition, they started to beef up the the budgets and the caliber of sort of like movie star people, and so anyhow, it's just left. It's now become like, to make a truly independent movie, which, to make a movie for under $1 million or whatever is very, very hard to find production companies or studios that are going to invest. Even though it's a little money, if you're not dealing with huge stars or people that have done tons of movies, it becomes hard to actually get, even if you have a great script, even if they, if you go on an actor to attach themselves, they want to see some financing, and if you want to get financing, they want to see some actors. So it's a catch-22, and the Kickstarter thing seems like a real way to kind of beat that, where you can raise a bunch of money, and then, because we're still looking for an actor to play the father, who's sort of the lead in the movie, and and a lot of people were interested, and it was great, but then we didn't have financing, which is something, you don't want to attach yourself to a movie that doesn't have anywhere to go. So it's kind of like, this is a way to kind of beat that, and again, it's even just to look around the website, Kickstarter is so cool to see all these projects and bands and people that are really like, using the internet to actually create a fan base, and then to allow that fan base to become part of their success story, or their actual launching pad to making new work. It's really cool.
How has the Big Bang affected this for you? I mean, obviously people know who you are now, right? I mean, you've done a lot of work. Yeah. People have seen you over the years, but I mean, now I think it's like the #1 show on TV, is it not, or something like that? Yeah.
It's you mean in terms of just how has it affected me?
Just awareness for this project. I mean, you and Jason Ritter as well being attached.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously without the Big Bang, I think we would be in a different place. A lot of this has come from Twitter, which is amazing. I hadn't really joined Twitter. I didn't know what was up with Twitter really until like a few months ago. And I've really grown to love it, not just because I can sort of wax poetic about nonsense in the middle of the night that comes to me, but I also enjoy, kind of trying to give back to people that are so kind, and all these fans, and then when this kind of thing came about, trying to raise money for IMI, we definitely have been milking it from Twitter, and just trying to get the word out through that, and it's just an amazing tool. And obviously a lot of those people following me are from Big Bang, and then Jason Ritter has people following him, and other means obviously too. And so it's definitely been totally crucial to the whole process in terms of using and exploiting the amazing fan base. I mean, nerds are a powerful force, and when they get together and then they believe in something, I mean, the outpouring of support from the Twitter followers and all the Big Bang fans, it's been really amazing. So that has definitely been invaluable to this process.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, but not even that. Just and behind the scenes as well. Just, you must know a lot more people now than you did before that can get the film places.
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of it. It's also it's funny, kind of what a separate community television is, though, from movies, and even what a separate community indie movies are from big studio movies. It's like, there's almost, I mean, not to say that I haven't met a nice amount of people and people that have been great and people that I have admired and all that, but there's definitely, the world of TV, and there's not a huge overlap always in especially sitcom for some reason. It takes a little while to kind of get, integrated into the film world. So it has helped to a degree, but honestly, what's really helped have been the fans, and when when we went to Toronto a few months ago, it was just amazing. I mean, we fell in love with the city, and I mean, partially because we were spoiled and taken to the opening hockey games and had fans just following us down the street and buses. It was like, I felt like it was like being in a parallel universe where it was like kind of like America, except it was cleaner, the people were nicer, and we were just enormous celebrities. It was we were spoiled rotten, but everybody was so sweet, and I mean our show is real popular there, and the people are just, I mean, you know, the amount of, I mean, it's like diehard fans. I mean, Canadians are sweet until you cut them in line to, you know, when they're waiting to see the Big Bang Theory, like, panel or whatever. People are, like, getting vicious. I mean, it's like, it's really crazy. So, yeah, we were huge fans of Canada, and you guys have all been so supportive to the show and to IMI, and with our Kickstarter campaign and that whole thing, too. So,
right.
And to get the word out.
What is going on with Big Bang? So it comes back Thursday. What can you give us any details on the show, on the episode?
Yeah, oh, shoot, this is something I should have known.
No, well, how long ago did you shoot it? Like, has this been in the can for a while?
Yeah, it's been probably a few weeks. Wait, oh my God, this is my fault.
It's something about an app. So there's an app. Someone creates an app.
Yes, it's that one. No, see, look at you. Yeah, the story is that Leonard comes up with an app idea, and then, of course, Sheldon tries to take over, and is an impossible person to get around, and we're all trying to help make it, and we ultimately have to fire Sheldon, and that creates sort of this dichotomy of him trying to one-up us and sabotage our project, and us doing the same. And it's sort of like, it's more of like a classic, like more of like a first or second season story where it's just like the group of us. It's a small story, and it's really funny, and there's some weird things that happen, and a lot of it takes place sort of in the apartment, and it's a really nice sort of small episode that we had a lot of fun doing. And I think the next one after that, we have Rick Fox as a guest, and yeah, and there's some really fun stuff there. We go on a road trip, and we're going to speak at a conference, and of course it turns into sort of a farce, like a door slamming bedroom, hotel room kind of switching farce, and it's really, really fun. And Rick Fox is, of course, really tall and handsome and funny.
You got a little man crush, do you?
Well, yeah. No, so that's, so there's some really great stuff coming up. And it's we've been doing a lot of fun stuff with the kind of the newer people too. Bernadette, Melissa Rauch plays her, and Mayim Bialik's character, and it's been a great season so far. I feel like we're really lucky that the episodes are getting stronger and stronger. So so we're just that's right. Yeah, we start up. We actually go back to work Wednesday from our break, and then Thursday is a new episode, and Friday is the end of the campaign for IMI. So it's a busy week. So
okay. How far in advance do you guys shoot?
We shoot. It can be. Oh man. Well, we try to be a couple weeks ahead, but or a few weeks ahead. But sometimes we're literally like only a week. We'll shoot an episode and then it will air a week later.
Wow.
Which is definitely cutting it close.
It keeps everyone on their toes.
Yeah. It's just sometimes we end up sort of in that predicament. But yeah, so we have a little time to catch up now that we had this break, and yeah, it'll be awesome.
Nice. Well, before I let you go, 5 quick questions, 1 word answers.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Well, I know you did a little sketch comedy back in the day, so sketch comedy or acting?
Acting.
Lennon or McCartney?
That's one of the hardest questions ever. It's varied so many times. That would be one word. I'm going to have to say Lennon.
Cool. Were you a good science student?
Yes.
All right. Role you're most proud of?
Oh, probably Serious Man.
You played a rabbi in that, is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. And 1 word, Simon Helberg.
Short.